What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my studio. So before we get into this article, I want to have a moment to appreciate the image of Noob Saibot in his MK11 inspired look in the movie because of the shadowing on the skin, the costume, and everything. Just everything about Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 2 looks good. Like, they really pop with this character. So I really love this image a lot, and he might be my top 5 characters in the movie so far. It says Noob Saibot is reborn for round 2 with Scorpion in new Mortal Kombat 2 image exclusive. At the end of the 2021's Mortal Kombat, Cole Young and Hanzo Hasashi, better known as Scorpion, joined forces across generations to finally kill the ice-cold assassin Bi-Han Sub-Zero. For anyone who has played the games, however, you know that death was not the end of the Lin Kuei warrior. The end of the first Mortal Kombat 2 trailer introduced a black-clad in similar armor and returning from NetherRealm to get his revenge against an old foe. As part of Collider's exclusive preview event for upcoming fall movies, we're excited to share a proper closer look at Noob Saibot with his empty eyes and a classic look that mimics the source material. Director Summer McQuaid also was able to reveal to Collider's Maggot Lovett how the team brought the character and his abilities to life in a way that fit the Noob name by reversing the last names of creators Ed Boon and John Tobias has been a staple of the fighting game franchise since the Mortal Kombat 2 video game was released back in '93, starting as a secret character before becoming a full-fledged part of the roster in Ultimate MK3. Although his early costume was a little more than a deep black clone of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, he slowly began to develop his own look as the games progressed. Reflecting his past as Bi-Han, he maintained the appearance of a member of the Lin Kuei. But the years of violence he inflicted combined with his rebirth in NetherRealm will result in his colorless and twisted new form with the ability to animate his shadow as a clone to help him fight. For McQuaid, it was beyond important to honor the history of the character in a way that doesn't lose what made Taslim's ice-cold, malicious depiction of the former Sub-Zero so beloved. Fortunately, he had the perfect costume designer for the job. This version of Bi-Han is a fan favorite and mysterious character who demands a costume design that captures the game's aesthetics while maintaining the realm of the film. Simply put, he looks awesome because of the genius costume designer Capri Ireland and her amazing team, the director said before offering the dig a bit deeper on the fit. McQuaid has been vocal about his love for the Mortal Kombat games, and that's reflected in Noob's Bi-Han's designs, which mixes materials and methods to create a detailed, shadowy design. I always wanted as much detail as possible in every costume, and Bi-Han was no exception. Kabi's clever use of different textures and finishes created a sense of variation in how light reflected as he moved through the space. The final design that made it to the screen borrowed heavily from MK1, specifically the Chaos Reigns expansion that brought Saibot to the game with an outfit that mixes both reflective armor and a traditional Lin Kuei ninja outfit. Yet McQuaid teased how the team on the Ireland went one step further, especially when it came to defining the character and how it relates to him visually. I wouldn't say it came from MK1, it was more like MK11, especially how he looked in the game. So if you play the game and you compare that to how he looks in live action, I think you would know that they took the design from MK11. So I wouldn't really say that it's from MK1. To To translate his distinctive shadow wraith look onto the film, we drew most of our inspiration from the recent version of the game. Kabi had a brilliant idea of creating unique material and finishes that will reflect the light while also being true to Bi-Han's singular idea of being a shadow. His body was made of low gloss textured black rubber underskin, while his armor was organic in style and featured a dark gray pearlescent reflective finish. The shadow clone within him is a different character, so we needed a different costume and color, but they shared materials, ensuring his unique look was clearly separated from his shadow clone while always being born from the same character. Beyond looking cool and accurate on their own, the costumes were also made with their environment in mind. Scorpion and Bi-Han's rematch unfolds in the fire of Netherrealm, and McQuaid believes that the new outfit makes the visuals of the fight pop more against the hellish backdrop. Since he spends almost all of the film in the deep orange-red light of Netherrealm, we knew the costume would reflect the environment and light beautifully, he continued. A lot of thought was put into the many moving parts between Scorpion's chains, Saibot's clone, and the surrounding fires to ensure the result isn't visually cluttered. The Scorpion versus Bi-Han fight in Netherrealm was complex, so we used different colors to take from his powers in the games to help the audience distinguish between the characters. Dark purple for his shadow and a dark graphite gray for him. It wasn't entirely smooth sailing in designing the Wraith Warrior, while bringing Noob's bone-breaking clone to life was vexing. The director reveals that the greatest hurdle came from his headgear. The most challenging aspect of his design was his long-sided hat, which can defy physics in the game, but can't in reality, he revealed. So Kabi and her team spent a lot of time creating a design that hung elegantly but also looked awesome at the same time. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Noob Saibot's bitter rivalry may not be the focal point as Earthrealm prepares for its fateful tournament with Outworld, but Bone has assured they'll be very essential to Mortal Kombat 2, adding all the more incentive to nail down a little detail. McQuaid and writer German Slater are bringing much more action to the table with Mortal Kombat 2 as the titular tournament is finally about to begin. After Mortal Kombat brought together some Earthrealm champions and awakened their arcana, the sequel sees Cole and his allies inviting one more all-important fighter into the fold. Action star Johnny Cage. Together, they have to defeat the forces of Outworld, led by Shao Kahn, in a no-holds-barred battle to save their world from being conquered. While the introduction of more recognizable fighters from the games, the cast has been expanded with Anna Randolph, Jessica Maname, John Lawson, Looney Lin, Macabre Brooks, Taji Gabrielle, Louis Tan, Damien Harriman, Chris Chan. I can't pronounce his last name, but I think he's King Jerry, I believe, among the new returning faces. So what's really interesting enough is that Kabi and her team made sure that Noob Saibot was exactly how he looks in the game, especially when it comes to his MK11 look, you know. And that is the one thing that I really appreciate the most, is that they took their time putting a lot of thought and effort into one character, almost all of the characters, to make it look like sources from the games. You know, like Liu Kang, for instance, wearing the Mortal Kombat 4 look, representing Mortal Kombat 2. So it's only a matter of time before we get to see all of them in action when it comes out this October. But you gotta give shout out to McQuaid and Kabi's team for doing a great job on Noob Saibot's design. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm excited for it. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm out.